Hello, Nancy Nohavik Johnston here, Mediums for Trump. This week we're going to discuss the riots in LA. Now, I noticed that, there are a lot of spiritual leaders who, or some are saying stand up, protest, resist, resist, resist. Some who were saying that a couple of months ago and now are softening a bit. But they're still encouraging people to resist, to stand up. That what Donald Trump or the administration is doing in sending home illegal immigrants is cruel and unlawful and inhumane and all of the above. When in fact, these people came over illegally, and they've been receiving benefits which we can't afford, this nation can't afford. But I just want to warn, the enlightened group. I know that, I'm a medium. I can cross over. I can speak to people on the other side, which is a gift. I call it a gift. A lot of people don't. Okay, big deal. All right, there it is. Does it make me special? Not really. No, there are quite a few people who can do it. And some people have drawn quite a following on becoming mediums or spiritual leaders. And what I've been seeing is that they're all of them are really, really left and very, very liberal. And yes, although we're spiritual and we believe in the higher being and focus on high energy and love. And for me, God is the God source, the divine, the creator is all important. And when we focus on that, it does make life better. But we must recognize we're still here on earth. We are still here on earth. And so these leaders who are encouraging resistance and rioting, I don't see them there. And I caution anyone to go out and start throwing things or challenging the police or the National Guard, because they're humans as well, and they're doing a job. So they're distorting the truth. One moment they say, let's resist, and then the next moment they're quoting Ephesians, and it's kind of a little blurry. So one of my favorite books is On Truth, right here, by Harry Frankfurt, and the other one, which is On Bullshit. But I'm just going to quote a little or read a little bit out of this book. A society that is recklessly and persistently remiss in any of these ways, meaning truth, is bound to decline, or at least to render itself culturally inert. It will certainly be incapable of any substantial achievement, and even of any coherent and prudent ambition. Civilizations have never gotten along healthily and cannot get along healthily without large quantities of reliable, factual information. I'm going to stop there just for a second. The people, they're human beings. Some of them are good, some of them are criminal. They poured into this country illegally by the Biden administration, who made promises that he shouldn't have. And we now know that there was a lot of bullshit with that. He was non compos mentis. So we don't know truly who is running the country. So these people have to go back. We cannot afford to put them on Medicaid and pay for their apartments, and we just can't afford it. So I'm going to continue on. So I'll read it again. Civilizations have never gotten along healthily and cannot get along healthily without large quantities of reliable, factual information. The facts are the facts. They also cannot flourish if they are beset with troublesome infections of mistaken beliefs. To establish and to sustain an advanced culture, we need to avoid being debilitated either by error or by ignorance. We need to know, and of course, we must also understand how to make productive use of great many truths. So it's naive to think that all of these millions of people can stay here. It's just naive. It's ignorant. It's not an insult I'm trying not to insult people with the word ignorant, but you have to do your research. We cannot, the United States of America is $37 trillion in debt and cannot afford to house, school, and keep these people here ad infinitum. We just can't. And the prior administration, there were no rules and there was no order, and so now there is. So, and that's one of the reasons why Donald Trump was put in office. It's a tough job. Someone has to do it. But for the leadership of California to, Gavin Newsom, to encourage people to resist, and I don't see how, as this book says, how the foundation supports that economy. So really think about what people are saying, what these spiritual leaders are saying. They're saying, oh, it's so inhumane. There are over 300,000 missing children who cross the border, who now whistleblowers are coming through and saying that these people, these young children, have been sent to pedophiles, known pedophiles. There are whistleblowers actually online, in interviews, saying that there was nothing that they could do about it. Where are the missing children? Now, if you're going to feign, abhorrence for what's going on now, like, what about these missing babies? So there's a lot of bullshit that's going on, a lot of misleading. Another good book. And I just want you to keep an open mind. These people, a lot of these people, I think, have been funded by NGOs, these spiritual leaders. And I think that they've been, they're intentionally trying to mislead, which is too bad. So there's a bit of reality that must be swallowed here. And you may disagree. People can debate. But to engage in criminal activity is not acceptable. Never acceptable. So that's my little blurb, Mediums for Trump, and God bless.